Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for November 1st, 2020 from Daniel chapter 2, Daniel's Humility. Yesterday we heard King Nebuchadnezzar had a disturbing dream, and he wanted his advisors to name the dream and interpret. They couldn't. They said that this could only come from God. So the king is now keeping his word. What did he promise if the advisors failed to deliver to him the dream and its interpretation? Verse 13. So the decree went out, and the wise men were about to be killed, and they sought Daniel and his companions to kill them. Verse 16. And Daniel went in and requested the king to appoint him a time, that he might show the interpretation to the king. Why wasn't Daniel immediately in the council of the wise men? Well, he still might have been that student in training. You may remember a couple days ago from Daniel chapter 1 that Daniel and his companions had 3 years to learn the language, the custom, and to complete their training before they stood before the king. This was the second year of the king, so one can quickly assume that this was the second year of Daniel's training. So Daniel was now part of the group, you could say, of the wise men and the trainees who were going to be destroyed. We have to notice again that Daniel was overly polite and allows the king to set the day and time for the interpretation of the dream to the king. As Christians, we also live in a hostile world very similar to Daniel. And so we also need to be polite with our non-Christian friends in the various relationships so that the gospel of Jesus may be presented. But after that meeting, notice what happens to Daniel and what he does next. Daniel returns home and speaks with his companions and tells them, verse 18, to seek mercy from the God of heaven concerning this mystery, so that Daniel and his companions might not be destroyed with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Yes, Daniel and his companions begin with prayer. But did you notice the concern? The concern for their lives, yes, but also for the lives of the rest of the wise men. Daniel's concern is not only for believers, but also for non-believers alike. Verse 19, then the mystery was revealed to Daniel in the vision of the night. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever, to whom belong wisdom and might. Verse 21, he changes times and seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. Verse 23, to you, O God of my fathers, I give thanks and praise, for you have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we asked of you, for you have made known to us the king's matter. So Daniel is presented to the king. Verse 26, the king declared to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, are you able to make known to me the dream that I have seen and its interpretation? Verse 27, Daniel answered the king and said, no wise men, enchanters, magicians, or astrologers can show to the king the mystery that the king has asked. But there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries, and he has made known to King Nebuchadnezzar what will be in the latter days. Your dream and the visions of your head as you lay in bed are these. Daniel quickly notes that no human can reveal what is known to God unless God himself reveals it to humanity. Daniel also notes in verse 30, "But as for me, this mystery has been revealed to me, not because of any wisdom that I have more than all the living, but in order that the interpretation may be made known to the king, and that you may know the thoughts of your mind." Daniel puts the emphasis on God, God revealing himself. He doesn't put the emphasis on Daniel, but on God, what God gives. St. Paul also teaches in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27, "But God shows what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God shows what is weak in the world to shame the strong." God does indeed give many gifts, not for us to boast in ourselves and saying, "Look who I am," but to boast in what God gives. For God is a good gift giver, and he gives many gifts to us. So we should boast, again, not in who we are. We should always boast in who God is as that beautiful gift giver. Join me again tomorrow as we have a special confirmation edition of our daily devotion. And then on Tuesday, we continue with God's answer to the dream. God's peace and many blessings be with you. Thank you for watching, and please take an opportunity to share this video with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for watching.